Hi and welcome to this week's Sim Racing News Update, where we take a look at all of the sim racing news that has happened over the last week. As always, if you want to make sure you don't miss these videos and keep up to date with what's going on within the world of sim racing, please do subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to be notified when the new videos get uploaded. Okay, so kicking things off, we've got a bit of a rumour around Codemasters' upcoming licensed WRC title. Now, the article's referring to it as WRC 23, which, given EA/Codemasters naming conventions, may be correct, but we don't know at the moment. That, however, is not the interesting thing. The article over on Insider Gamer claims that one of the things you will be able to do with the WRC 23 title that Codemasters are bringing out is build your own car. Now, it doesn't go into a huge amount of detail about this. It is purely a rumour at this particular stage, but the claim is that you'll be able to build your own rally car using an in-game currency system. You then have to build, modify and run your car, which will be interesting. So we've got no clue whether this is accurate or not. We will have to wait and see. It may not survive to launch, even if it's a considered feature at this present moment in time. But if they do incorporate that, that's going to be quite significantly different to anything we've had before in the WRC series. So it'll be an interesting one. I hope it makes the final cut. We'll have to wait and see though, and unfortunately it's probably close on a year that we'll have to wait and see for that. Moving away from WRC and back to something that I first mentioned last week on the video, which is that Ian Bell, formerly of Slightly Mad Studios, now of Mildly Annoyed Studios, that's what his new studio appears to be called, announced that he was going to be bringing out GTR Revival, effectively reviving the GTR, GT Legends, GTR 2 series of games. And as is typical, wonderful timing, I put the video up onto YouTube, and Ian Bell put out a press release. So I did record another video that I'll leave a link to down in the descriptions box below, which will obviously have every link for all of the news I'm talking about, and put out a press release, and I talked about that in it. Now, in a nutshell, because if you want to know everything about it, my thoughts on it, go and watch that video. But in a nutshell, what Ian and a few of the other people from the studio said was, unsurprisingly, it's going to be the best sim ever, honestly. It's going to have limited cars and tracks to start off with. They use different wording to mine, but I'm using the term limited based on reading between the lines of what was in the press release. But it will support modding, which, given how well supported the GTR and GT Legends series are for modding, that's really good news. We also know it will run a bespoke physics engine, hence it will be the bestest thing in the world from a sim racing perspective, but they're also saying that it will be married to Unreal Engine 5, which, quite frankly, if true, will make it potentially stunning looking as well. So it's a press release. If you go and read it, and I'll leave a link to it again down below, if you go and have a read of it, it's a typical Ian Bell press release. But, you know, colour me interested. You know, I can't help it. I really like the Madness engine. I really like the Project Cars games. I've got a bit of a soft spot back in the old days for the Need for Speed Shift titles, you know, and the GTR and the GT Legends titles. They're good, you know. So let's separate the individual from the work here, and it's got potential, but time will tell. Oh, and 2024 release date for it, or release window sometime in 2024. Okay, so enough maybe happening in the future stuff, as our last two stories were, and on to something you can go out and actually use right now, and that is RaceRoom has released its WTCR 2022 pack, and obviously contains the 2022 cars. So we've got the Audi RS3 LMS TCR, the Cupra Leon Competizione TCR, Honda Civic TCR, Hyundai Elantra N TCR, and the Link & Co TCR. Now, the good news is, if you've got previous WTCR packs in RaceRoom, Christ, I've said TCR a lot there. One of the things you will find is that this is really cheap, because none of these cars are new for this year. They've all featured in previous packs. So I think it cost me less than £4, because you're basically just buying some very slight modifications to the spec and some new liveries. So it was a cheap one for me in that regard, and I like supporting RaceRoom, because weirdly that does have ties to GTR as well. It's all linked today, all linked. In particular, because moving away from RaceRoom, we're going to be talking about WRC games again now. Now, not the Codemasters WRC games, but the Colaton games WRC series, the last one of them before they lose the license, which is titled WRC Generations. Now, people who have pre-ordered this on console were expecting to have around about a month extra to play it ahead of those of us who are planning to pick it up on PC, because on PC it wasn't scheduled for release until early November. However, Magpie Racer, one of the members over at GT Planet, got an email from the company he'd pre-ordered it from, and apparently the PS5 version, and I assume by association the Xbox version as well, has been delayed, with the new release date being the 3rd of November 2022. So what this looks like is that WRC Generations has slipped for whatever reasons in terms of its console version, and both of those platforms, so the console platforms and the PC platforms, now appear to probably have parity, or near as damn it parity, in their release window, with it being early November. So lots of stuff going on, lots of stuff around the WRC. So to stop talking about WRC, World of Outlaws Dirt Racing has been released on the PlayStation and Xbox. Now, this is an interesting title because it's the first kind of collaboration between iRacing and Monster Games. And if you recall, iRacing bought Monster Games a while ago, and this is the first title that's come out from this collaboration between the two. And what we've effectively got here is iRacing assets adapted for use within the Monster Racing engine. Now, the Monster Racing engine always used to be Unity, and they used it for the NASCAR Heat Series. Before that, then got spun off and then bought out by Motorsport Games. A whole big story in its own right. But this is the first title. Now, weirdly, they've only released it on console, so PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X/S. With no PC release. Now, I was reasonably interested in picking this up for console. I've got a PS4 and a PS5 after all, so it might have been worth a look. Then I saw the prices they wanted for it, and quite frankly, the money they want, which is around about £60-70, around about £50-60 depending on your platform or your console version for the base version, and then £70 for the deluxe version, which has got a season pass bundled in it, was kind of like, no, sorry, this one will wait either for a PC release or a sale. I'm interested in it. I loved the old Worlds of Outlaws console title. I've still got my PS2 copy of it. Really enjoyed it, but there's absolutely no way on earth I'm paying that sort of money for it. It's just not happening. So I'll look at that one again in a sale or a PC version, as I say, and it won't be a day one review for me on that. Sorry about that. Moving to Assetto Corsa Competizione, and a reoccurring theme in terms of differences in releases and release times between console and PC here, because finally, console players have got access to update 1.8 for Assetto Corsa Competizione, and it's been a long time coming. I believe I mentioned in last week's news roundup, we got it on PC November last year, November 2021, so it's a hell of a wait for the console players on this. Far too long, in my personal opinion. You shouldn't have to wait this long for it to be parity. I can understand a small delay, but, you know, we're getting on for 10 months here. That's the best part of a year. The good news is it brings the improved tyre model, the new 400Hz physics engine, and a load of other stuff with it. So it's really, really good news that it's arrived and it's available for you. I found it a really good update, brought a lot more to Assetto Corsa Competizione, removed some of the really annoying glitches that could happen with it, so well worth it. The interesting thing is, and again, I didn't realise this, they have now confirmed that both the American Track and the Challengers Pack will be available to purchase on PS5 and Xbox Series X/S from the 10th of November. So the American Track Pack, that Circuit of the Americas, Indianapolis and Watkins Glen. I'm not a big fan of Circuit of Americas, but Indianapolis and Watkins Glen, big thumbs up there. And the Challenge Pack gives you 5 new cars, so Audi R8, M2 CS Racing, Ferrari 488 GT3, Lamborghini Huracan Super Trofeo Evo 2, and the 911 GT3 Cup car. And I think I put a review together of this pack when it came out. If I did, I'll find it out and link it down below so you can go and take a look to see whether you want to consider buying it when it comes out on the 10th of November or not. Patch notes for this, because it is a big one, as always, down in the descriptions below, so go and take a look at that. And then rounding things off, Gran Turismo 7 has put out another one of its updates, bringing us to version 1.23. Now, the big easy to see bits around this is we've got some new cars and some new menu books. So car wise, we've got the Nissan Silvia K's Type S, commonly known as an S14 Silvia, Porsche Vision Gran Turismo Spider, which pretty much is the same as the Porsche Vision Gran Turismo with the roof chopped off of it, and the Volkswagen IDR 19. So it's an interesting set of cars, and for once they have actually put something curated together for a teeny tiny part of this. So what you've got here is the menu book number 45, which is one that's actually got races in it. I mean, they're three lap races, so they're not brilliant, but at least you've got some races. Is a new menu book, and if you complete that, you get a level 6 parts roulette ticket. So not even a full roulette ticket, just a parts one. And they've then added 2 more of these new weird extra menus where you have to collect cars and nothing else, and they give you a roulette ticket for that. So they've got a Corvette one out that I'd automatically got, and a mid-engined Porsche one, which I haven't got and I can't be bothered to. Because they've also then done something. Now, it's snuck in the update notes under item 4. Car settings. Change the calculations of the performance points in car settings so that measurements are taken with stock differential gear and suspension settings. So what this basically means is that any changes you make to the suspension or the diff on the car in Gran Turismo 7 will no longer affect the performance points, despite the fact that it changes the performance of your car. Now, the reason why they've done this is, to be blunt, you can take certain cars and you can glitch the PowerPoint system, or sorry, the performance point system with them. And the Dodge Tomahawk is one of the most notorious examples of this. Now, a number of people do glitch it and then go online and spoil people's day. I'll be perfectly honest, putting this place in change isn't going to stop people who have that kind of mentality from finding another car that they are going to go and ruin people's day with. You know, that is not going to change that. The cynic in me looks to the other reason why people do this, and that is you can grind quite easily a lot of money using the Tomahawk with the PP glitch to win certain events. One event, I think it's a Tokyo one, and get lots of money. Basically, what they appear to have done is nerfed how performance point calculations work to once again shut the door on another method of grinding within Gran Turismo 7. Now, you could say, Scaff, you're just being really cynical here. Why would they do that? And in response to that, I'd say that's a good question. Do you want me to go through the entire list of times that PD have gone out of their way to nerf any and all attempts at grinding, and Kaz himself said full stop that he didn't want people grinding? I'm just putting 2 and 2 together here and actually getting 4. And it just really annoys me, because if people were grinding, you know, even though the economy was sane and there weren't microtransactions baked into the game, I could understand it, you know, people just being stupid there. But we've got a broken game economy here. It's out of kilter. It's onerous on the player. It doesn't respect people's free time. It makes the game work, and that's not a good thing. And yeah, most importantly of all, it drives people potentially towards microtransactions, which are scummy. So this just, it's not a good look again, and it's just another reason why, unfortunately, Gran Turismo 7 annoys me a lot. So, to cheer me up, I'm going to talk about the mods I've been playing this week, and I was really excited when this one landed. You see, I live within easy driving distance of 3 circuits in the UK. I can get to Silverstone in about 45 minutes to an hour. I can get to Thruxton in about 40 minutes. But most importantly, I can get to Castle Combe in 30 minutes quite easily. So it's long been my local circuit. I've watched more racing at Castle Combe than any circuit I can think of. I've driven Castle Combe a good number of times over the years as well. Now, the first 2 of those, Silverstone is obviously well catered for in titles across the board. Thruxton's got some good mods out for it for R Factor 2, and there's also a really good one for Assetto Corsa as well. Castle Combe has never had a decent mod come out for it, and Castle Combe has, apart from Race Driver 3, I think, has never been in a title, and unsurprisingly, given its age, the version in Race Driver 3 was not good at all. It was not an accurate representation of the track. And to be blunt, the few mods that have come out for mainly Assetto Corsa seem to have been based around that Codemasters version of Castle Combe, and they've been appalling. Well, now, the same modder that did the excellent Thruxton on Assetto Corsa has released a version of Castle Combe from a LiDAR scan, and it is excellent. It really is. I've been driving on this all week. Anybody that comes around the house that's ever been to Combe or driven on Combe, I've stuck them on my rig, I've let them have a go on it, and they agree how accurate it is. And one of the most important things, Combe is a great circuit because it looks so simple, but extracting a good lap out of it is extremely challenging, mainly because it's a really fast circuit, but also because of one corner combo. And that is, as you leave the straight finish line, you go through a gentle corner that can be taken completely flat called Folly. That's not the one you're interested in. But you then come across a combination of Avon Rise and Quarry Corner. Now, Avon Rise is a very slight left-hander, but it's over a crest. And the crest makes sighting it and Quarry, the following corner, blind. And as soon as you come over the top of Avon Rise, you're straight into a very sharp right-hander called Quarry. And Quarry is a very slight reducing radius, but it's a lot sharper than you think. Now, depending on the car you're in, totally changes your approach and braking to Avon Rise and Quarry. Some you've got to brake before you get to Avon Rise and then settle the car once you go over the crest. Others, if you've got a lot of grip or they're very light, you might be able to make it over Avon Rise and brake into Quarry, but with a completely different line. And just this one combo makes it such an interesting circuit to drive, both in the sims and in reality as well. It's so challenging that Quarry Corner, because of Avon Rise, is the most accident-prone corner in British motorsport. It's that challenging. It's a really, really good corner combo, and it's a great version of it. So go and download Castle Combe, give it a drive. It's absolutely brilliant, and this is a really, really nice version. Loads of detail, put together really well. It's great flat and in VR as well. And What I've picked to go with this is, and I've probably featured this mod before, it's been out for quite a while, but it's been modified over the years and well supported, and that's the Caterham Academy 2020 version 1.5 from Ben Abro. And being perfectly honest, just go and get all of Ben's mods because they are absolutely excellent, and the 2020 spec Caterham Academy is a wonderful combination to put with Castle Combe, and the two just go brilliantly together. So pick these up, have a go at them, and let me know what you think down below. But yeah, I was really excited when Combe came out this week, as you can probably guess from my ecstatic rambling about it. So that's enough for me for this week anyway, so thank you everyone for listening if you've made it this far. If you found this useful, please do hit the like button. If you found it rubbish, please hit the dislike button. The algorithm doesn't care. And as I mentioned at the top, if you want to support the channel, please do subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified when new content comes out. Thanks very much for watching. Take care everyone, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.